Hey guys, good morning, everybody. Today is Monday, November 13th. Happy Monday, everyone. Hopefully everyone had a great weekend. It is 6:23 right now. Market's going to open in about 7 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and set up this room real quick, and we'll get started shortly with our analysis for today. It's got a couple things here to update, and we should be good to go. All right, looks good. Looks good. A few more things here. All right, looks like we are good to go. Let me get this link sent out to you guys here in the premium. Right there. Sent out. I'll give it a few moments for people to make their way in, and then we will get started shortly. All right, as people join in, I'm going to go ahead and start marking up liquidity over here on our liquidity chart. So I'm going to start off by marking up here on the daily. Let's get it there. Going down to the 8-hour. Going down to the 4-hour. Going down to the 2-hour. Going down to the 1-hour. Going down to the 30-minute. Going down to the 15. Going down to the 10. And looks like we're done. So, all right, guys, we have liquidity marked up over here. Closest level of liquidity down below is going to be over here at 34,250. This is going to be the closest level right here for a sell. And the closest level for a buy is going to be up here at 34,309. So we got two levels right there of liquidity. Closest level obviously is going to be right here down below. So we'll see what happens here when market opens. But there goes your levels of liquidity right here that are closest to current price. There's another level right below. This might get hit pre-market, actually. It looks like the lower level might just get hit right now, but we'll see what happens. All right, guys, good morning, everybody. Today is Monday, November 13th. It is 6:27 right now. Market's going to open in about 3 minutes. Hopefully everyone had a great weekend. Today's first trading day of the week, so be careful with your trades today, guys. As you guys know, Mondays and Fridays are the riskier days because people are re-entering the market from the weekend and people on Friday are exiting the market. So you might see some increased volatility immediately on open. You might see some manipulation, but eventually price is going to stabilize. And you want to look out for any of the patterns that play out today because a lot of the fake outs and patterns that may play out today are going to continue out throughout the week. So just keep that in mind. But anyways, guys, market's going to open shortly. And let's see what's here so far. Morning, Andreas. Morning, Kevin. Morning, Daniel. Morning, Maria. Morning, Craig. Morning, everybody. We've marked up everything here on the liquidity chart. Here is our clean chart. I'm going to go ahead and mark up 6:30. Mark up 8 o'clock. I'll see if there's any structure here on the 4-hour and 1 hour that we can maybe use to identify where price might bounce from. So there's one level right here. Price is currently at the resistance, actually, looks like. And there's a support right here. So with that said, let's go back to the 1 minute here. As you guys can see, price is currently kind of just bouncing around 4-hour resistance. Go down to the 1 hour, see if there's anything else there. I can maybe tighten it up a little bit. No, same thing. So that right there would be the 4-hour resistance, this area here. So you can see price is currently pushing away from the 4-hour resistance. So price may come back down further. I mean, we'll see what happens. Price might swing up, reject off that area and come back down further. But this is our clean chart. So a clean chart right there. I'll make some adjustments, when price starts to move around a bit, but that's pretty much where price is currently at. Here's our high-low scalp V2 area chart. There's not really too much going on here. But I guess there's a trade that might be running at the moment or might be setting up. So high-low scalp V2, and here is our main chart. So for our main chart over here for the momentum pullback scalp, you guys can see the ATR is very low right now. It's currently at 7. So you want to be careful with any entries at this moment. Typically, you want it to be around 15. That's like normal volatility, even during summer sessions. So we want it to be higher than 15. Anything below that, it's kind of just a consolidation and ranging market. So market is opening in about 10 seconds, guys. We currently have a sell signal right here. So if we get 2 red candles here on open, then that's going to be the setup for the breakout V2. If we get a buy signal and 2 red candles after that, that's going to be the momentum counter scalp that we're still testing. So if this here closes with the buy signal, that's completely fine. This is going to start setting up for a buy entry for the breakout V2, or again, it might set up for a momentum counter scalp. So price is now moving to the upside. As you guys can see, this is kind of what I warned about here. Market is now open. Price is kind of going back and forth because you get this increased volatility from people re-entering the market from the weekend, because the market was closed over the weekend and now people are back in the market. So there goes opening price right there, huge candle. An open market opening price right here as well. And lastly, for our clean chart over here, opening price. So you can see how price is coming back into this area, which is the 4-hour resistance. Price might bounce off this and come right back down. So just be careful with any entries there. Well, we'll see. So yeah, like what Maddie said, he's going to wait until the market stabilizes. I'm going to do the same thing. And we'll see where this ends up taking us. So no buy signal there yet. I mean, price is still going back and forth. I'll go over here to our bigger charts as well. I'm going to mark up opening price here too. So opening price is actually right next to last week's 11.13. So looking at this here, as you guys can see, this is our chart where it pretty much just marked up a lot of the opening prices for the past couple of weeks. Price is currently bouncing off last week's opening price, so it might just bounce back up higher, or price might pull back into this range over here. A lot of different things that can play out, but we'll just leave that as is, and we'll come back and take a look at this later if necessary. But here we go. So if this red candle here closes, this is going to be the breakout V2. If you guys are looking to take it, I'm not going to take the entry. I'll follow up for you guys and I'll put it into our spreadsheet, but I'm not going to take it. This is, again, is one of the strategies that we're testing. I don't think it's like the best strategy, but it does hit. So like, as long as you have as long as you identify, what's a good entry and what isn't, the strategy can play well. But you can see over here that there's a lot of areas where there's a lot of uncertainty as to where price is going to go. You guys can see the huge wick right here. So it's not looking like a great candle right here, right? But if you are looking to take the breakout V2, we do have a sell signal right here. If this here closes red, which it might not, you can see there it just swung all the way back up at the last second. It's just not a good area to be trading in because there's no certainty as to which direction price is going to go. And if we get a buy signal here, then it's going to set up for a different type of entry. So again, right there, we got the buy signal. There was no 2 red candles. Now, if you get 2 red candles following this buy signal, you may have a momentum counter scalp setting up next. So there's no entries for us right now. The ATR is still very low, as you guys can see. It's starting to pick up a little bit. So now it's at 13. So it went from 7 to 13. Big pickup within the last 2 minutes or so of market open. And you can see the ATR is getting closer to 15. So if that becomes the case, that's perfectly fine. It's going to be a good thing for us because that volatility is what we're looking for. Looking over here at the news calendar, let's check real quick if there was any news for today. I don't think there is anything. So the Fed is speaking over here at 5:50. There is economic optimism at 3:40, and we have more news at 8 o'clock. So we had news at 3:40. I'm going to mark that up for you guys. News over here at 3:40. Then we have news at 8 o'clock, which is fine because we'll have that marked up right there. All right, so a lot of uncertainty. You guys can see we had a buy signal, and now we have a sell signal. So there's no momentum counterscalp for today, as you guys can see. Typically, it has to happen on the first momentum, but there was no momentum there. So going to our spreadsheet over here for the momentum counterscalp, there was no entry for that specific strategy today. So I'm going to go ahead and just put this down. Oh, that's weird. I don't know why this one's still open. I gotta delete this one. All right, so this is the momentum counterscalp, of course. There's no entry for today. So no entry for that, but the breakout V2 is still, I mean, there's a possibility of entry there. So we'll see what happens. All right, let's go back to the chart. So there just isn't much direction here. As you guys can see, we had a buy signal, sell signal, price is just going back and forth. Looks like a fake out to the upside. It rejected directly off the 4-hour resistance, like I mentioned to you guys. So I said, be careful for this area here because price is probably going to come up and bounce directly off. And that's exactly what happened. So that's why I draw these higher level zones so that you guys can have an idea. But, it's pretty obvious. You can see it did exactly what we were anticipating. So if you look for 2 red candles here, currently there's one that's pending. If there's another one that follows it, it's technically, again, going to be the breakout V2. There's no momentum counterscalp here because there's 2 momentum signals and it didn't come up in between. ATR is currently at 15 right now, so the market's actually looking pretty decent now. We just need to wait for the market to kind of stabilize a bit, and then we can start looking for some possible entries here shortly. So here is our high-low scalp V2 chart. Trend is currently bearish right now. Clean chart. So it looks like price is trying to get down to this lower level liquidity right here. If you guys are looking at it, it's not there yet. It's almost there. But it looks like if it does come through, it might swing down from where it's at. Let's see, Alan said that sells candle, is it oversold? So if we measure it from this high point right here, not yet. I mean, it's an abnormally large red candle, but it's not oversold. When it's over like 1,000 pips, then yeah, it'd be considered oversold. Right now, it's only down like about half of that. So from this higher high down to here, it's down like maybe 500 pips. So this right here might be the breakout V2 if anybody's looking to take it. Actually, we'll see. Take that back because it never closed as a red candle. You can see here that it's really hard to tell if these candles are going to close red because it'll be red and then at the last second it'll swing up and be green. So you just want to look very closely. You definitely don't want to enter early. You want to make sure that you actually wait for the setup to actually close for you, because if you don't, then you might get caught in the fake out. So yeah, there's not really much of a direction right now. Price kind of just keeps going sideways right here. The volatility is pretty decent. It's currently at 15, so we'll hope that it stays above that point, but there's just no direction. So there's volatility, price is moving, but it's going back and forth. So we can consider this a range. It's not really consolidation, but it's more of a range because the volatility is actually pretty high. Looks like price is going to balance in between opening price and this lower low right here. Or it might just continue to range within this area within. So again, right there, guys, sell signal, no 2 red candles. So there's no breakout V2 here. Price just continues to go back and forth. The good thing here is that there's volatility. So I'd rather have price bounce back and forth with high volatility where the candles are big enough to move, rather than having price go back and forth and there's no volatility, right? There's always a pro and con to the volatility, but as long as there's some sort of direction, that's exactly what we're looking for. We're looking for volatility and direction. Right now, the trend's still somewhat bearish. You can see price is kind of bouncing in between the pivots, but the pivots are still angling to the downside. They're now starting to shift up, but they are still technically bearish right now. Let's take a look at the overall bias real quick and see if there's anything that we can maybe pull from this here. So looking over here at retail sentiment is currently 64% short. This indicates that 64% of retail traders are currently selling right now. So you typically want to do the opposite and buy. Looking over here at the fundamentals are currently down 47 points. They're not very strong, but they are down. So they're pretty much neutral at the moment. So bullish retail sentiment, neutral fundamentals. And looking over here at the technicals, short-term is neutral and long-term is bullish. So I'll go and put that down over here. Again, there's no two red candles. So there's no breakout V2 up just yet. Price is just swinging right back up. So today's overall bias, retail sentiment is currently bullish. It is 64% short. The middle bias is currently neutral, negative 40 points. Short-term technicals are neutral. Long-term technicals are bullish. So there goes today's overall bias for right now. Pivots are starting to shift to the upside, like Maddie mentioned. They haven't confirmed yet, but they are starting to clump up and shift to the upside. So if this candle here closes green, guys, this is going to be the breakout V2. Again, I'm not looking to take this entry. I'll follow it for you guys, but I'm not going to take it because there's just no direction of price. If there was direction of price, I would be more likely to take it. But right now you can see price just keeps bouncing back and forth. It's not really a good area to trade in because it's easy to get caught in these fake outs here, especially because price is currently in the 4-hour resistance. So price might just come up a little bit and then bounce directly off, right? So I probably wouldn't really mess with it. There's also liquidity sitting up there too. So price does get to that point, price might blast right through there and hit liquidity. So if you guys are looking to take the breakout V2, it's going to close in about 10 seconds right there. I would be careful about taking it. I'm not going to take it myself. I'm just going to wait a little bit, let the market stabilize, and then I'll look for any possible entries after that. So here goes a breakout V2. It's currently running in profit right now. Looks like it's attempting to hit the liquidity above. Looks like it's going to hit it. So we'll see if it comes up and hits it. But yeah, here is the breakout V2 currently running in profit. If you went for 100 pips, it already went out, hit TP already. Not in the position, we're just following this here. It's currently bouncing off this higher high right here. And we'll see how much higher it climbs. So now it looks like it did fill the liquidity. Liquidity is now running in profit. And we'll come back and see where this ends up playing through. But again, I'm not in any of these positions here, guys. There's another level right here for a high-low scalp V2 that might be setting up. So a high-low scalp V2 that's currently setting up right now. Looks like liquidity got hit. And the breakout V2 is still running in profit right there. So I'm not in the position, guys, but again, we're just following it. So if you guys are in the position, I'd probably recommend moving your stop loss in profit or trailing it because, you don't know when price is going to turn around. So liquidity is pushing through. Yeah, I think this will probably hit TP. Put it right there. But again, the volatility here it's very uncertain. I mean, it's pretty high, but it's not really consistent. You can see on this next candle here, it's kind of like it's kind of losing its push. But we'll continue following it. So we got the breakout V2 running. We got the liquidity push that's currently running. It's about to hit TP. I think it already did. And then we have this high-low scalp V2 that's currently setting up right here for anyone who's looking to catch this. So if this pulls back a bit, I might get in a little later, but I'm not going to get in right away. So I'll follow this here. The volatility is still kind of low. So I think if anyone was to take this entry here, I'd probably go for a partial, maybe 200 pips or even 100 if you guys are looking to take that. Because if the volatility was higher than 20 ATR, then I would maybe go for a higher move. But right now, I probably wouldn't because the ATR is still not very high. ATR is currently 16 right now. It's not great, but it's not horrible, right? So it's like in between. In order for you to go for a full 300 pip move, you need the volatility to be a lot higher, or else you can be holding on to this position for an extended period. Yeah, exactly. Maddie said he wants it to retrace a lot more for the high-low V2, and that's exactly what I'm looking for. So I'm looking for price kind of retrace down a little further down, and then I'll look for it to come up, fill, and go through. But I'm not in it yet. Mondays are like those days where you want to feel out the market. You don't want to get too jumpy. You don't want to hop into the position right away because there's just a lot of red flags here, right? For like one of the biggest red flags that I'm personally looking at is the fact that price is in the 4-hour resistance. I think this is a bad area to really be stuck in because price might just continue to bounce off these areas here, right? Price might climb higher, but at any moment, price can just bounce off. So that's why I don't really want to mess with this area where we're currently in until there's like some sort of confirmation that, okay, price is probably going to continue climbing from there. So liquidity is still running. Breakout V2 still running in profit. High-low scalp V2 is pulling back a little bit. We're waiting for it to kind of retrace a little more before we actually look to take this for an entry. But again, right now, I'm just feeling out the market. I'm trying to see if there's any fake outs here that I should be looking out for. If there's anything that we should probably be aware of, because this is typically how Mondays are, guys. On Mondays, you're either gonna get a really smooth market or you're gonna get a really choppy market. If you guys have noticed for the past couple of weeks, we've had really choppy Mondays, and they start to give hints of like how the market's gonna move for the rest of the week. So let's see. And then Kip said that there's also a momentum pullback scalp that's currently running as well. Let me see. Yeah. So it looks like there's another momentum pullback scalp that's currently running at this level right here. There's a pending sell signal though, so it's a little tricky because if the sell signal closes, you have to close out. Yeah, again, I'm just gonna wait, guys. I'm not gonna take any entries here yet. I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna watch for this here to play through. Like what Maddie's doing, Maddie's currently waiting for the high-low scalp V2 to pull back up. That's probably what I'm gonna look for as well. But yeah, there's a couple entries that are running right now. There's a lot of entries actually. There's a breakout V2, high-low scalp V2 that's currently running. Momentum pullback scalp, and also liquidity here that's also running as well. So there's like a bunch of entries here that are currently active. It's just where price is currently at right here. It's not the best area to be trading in. Not to say that price isn't going to swing back up, but it is kind of a risky area to be trading in right here because I think the biggest thing is the 4-hour resistance. It's just not a good area to be stuck in right now. If this was farther up, then yeah, I'd probably be okay with holding on to it because price will probably be looking to reach that point. But just right now, it's not a good area to be stuck in a position because this can really go in either direction, right? At this point, price can continue climbing up the resistance ladder here, or it can just pull back and go back to open, like is typically what it usually happens. If there's a fake out, or price might come down, fake people out, get close to this point and swing all the way back up, right? And this is kind of what me and Maddie are looking for here. We're looking for the fake out, but the correction back to the upside. So I'm going back over here and I'm pretty much just looking for this to swing right back up from where it's at. So I'm not in any positions right now. We're just following these to see where they're going. There's a bunch of entries that are currently running at the moment. So this right here for the momentum pullback scalp, this would have to be pulled out for a small loss right there because there's an opposite signal. Once you get an opposite signal like that, you're supposed to pull out for a small loss, just, cut your losses and hop into the next one, which is likely to play through. So I'm glad that we didn't take any positions here because there's just so many things that are happening at once. There's also a reverse position here that's currently running for a sell, like Daniel just mentioned. There is a high-low momentum scalp that is currently running at the moment. So there's a higher high here, sell signal at broken close past pivots 1 and 2, and then there's another V1 right here. So you guys can see the market's really messy. There's a sell entry that's running right now for a high-low momentum scalp. There's the breakout V2. There's the liquidity push over here. There's the high-low scalp V2. There is a V1 pending right here. I think the V1 would probably be a better option to take for price to correct back to the upside if anybody's looking to take that V1. This is something that I would probably be okay with taking as well. Let me see if I can maybe see where it's at. I'm just gonna put a little marker here to see if I could catch it as it swings back up. See, so there's a V1 right there. Today's bias right now is still, I mean, for the most part, it's kind of mixed right now. It's because it's neutral, but then also bullish. The only problem with this here right now is that price is currently in a, yeah, Patricia said it's a total mess right now. There's too many things going on at once where it's very tricky. There's no, like, it's hard to tell which direction price is really going to go in because there's so many things going on. There's too many entries running, in both directions. There's also, like, I think the main key thing here is the resistance area. Like I keep going back to, this is the area that I don't want to be trading in. I want price to either be above it and continue pushing up higher, or I want price to be below and, you know, stay below the resistance. So yeah, Kip said if a V1 gets followed by a momentum counter scalp, he'll be in. Yeah, it didn't. There's just too much going on right here, guys. So I'm gonna kind of sit tight for a little bit. I'm just gonna wait for the market to stabilize, and we'll start to get some entries once, you know, the market here is kind of figured out its direction. Because right now there's not really much direction. The ATR is kind of mixed right now too. So let's see. The ATR is currently at 14, so it's not even that high. But it's a little bit farther down now, Maddie. So I think this is the pullback that you're looking for the high-low scalp V2. So if you do want to get into this a little later, if it swings back up, I mean, it could be a possibility, because if it does correct back up from where it's currently at, I think it'll probably push up higher. But again, we're still stuck in this area here, which is the 4-hour resistance, which I think this is the key thing to look out for here, because this is the thing. I think price might come down slightly. It might fake out around this area and then correct back up, right? I think that's the main thing that I'm looking for, to have that confirmation. But yeah, I mean, we'll see. Yeah, Kip said I need to get out of the range and away from I needed to get out of the range and away from the sessions to feel confident. Yeah, exactly. And that's exactly what I'm saying too. This whole area here is just not a good area to be in. For one, it's the resistance area. That's like the big thing. If you go here to our main chart, you can see there's a sessions right there. This is an area of manipulation. There's also opening price down here. So there's just different areas that you want to be careful for. There's just too much going on right now. That, like, whenever you guys are analyzing the market, you typically want to have like maybe two scenarios, right? You want to have a scenario where price is going to correct back up, and you want to have a scenario that price is going to reverse, right? There's just two different scenarios. Right now, there's just so much going on that you're like, okay, is there going to be a push to the upside? Is price going to fake out? Is price going to bounce off the resistance? Is price going to just continue climbing, right? There's just a lot of things here to look at. As you can see, price here is climbing right back up. I just realized I put a pending order there for the V1, and I accidentally forgot to close it, and it just filled right now, so I had to close it out manually, guys. I just got a little too trigger friendly right there with the V1 when Maddie mentioned it, and I mentioned I was going to put a pending order there. I was going to try to catch it as it swings back up, and it filled right now. I just realized I was in profit, so I pulled out for a small profit. Yeah, I don't want to be in this market here. I locked in about 1,000, but it was a trade that just a little too risky. This whole area is not good. I think the V1 hit, so I'm not sure if anybody caught the V1, but the V1 was the only one that I was kind of comfortable with taking, because I had a feeling price was going to correct back up to where it's supposed to go. That V1 right there was super strong. So what happened was I had a pending order that was just waiting right here. I didn't get it to full TP, but it would have hit TP right there, as you guys can see. So it looks like everything is correcting back up, kind of like what we anticipated, but I'm not in any of these positions here. The only position I was in was the V1, which was an accidental entry. It's just too messy right here. And again, right there, you can see another fake out. Price came up. It looked like price was finally going to shoot up to its TP, but then it faked out, and now it's back down here. So if you guys are not in any positions, I don't recommend hopping into anything here. I know you guys might get some FOMO and you guys want to chase this correction to the upside, because there's a lot of entries that are currently running right now. There's a high-low scalp V2. There's the breakout V2 that's still running. This entry should have hit a long time ago, right? The breakout V2 typically hits right away. That's why it's called a breakout. Price did break out initially, got close to TP, then it pulled back down. So if you guys listened to me earlier, I mentioned that you guys should probably move your stop loss and profit and trail it. Hopefully you guys did. You guys were pulled out for some profit here. There was a V1 variation that came up right here. I was kind of tempted to take it because everything was for a buy already. So I was like, okay, this is a good confirmation that price is going to correct back up. I ended up putting a pending order there. It filled, went into profit, and I pulled out manually because I wasn't planning on it getting filled because I was going to cancel it. And I pulled out for a partial profit. So the only trade I took here was a V1 variation. It was a partial move. The liquidity here is still running too, guys. So this is pretty crazy to see a lot of these entries that are still currently active. There's a lot of entries here that are currently active, and these should have been done, a long time ago. These are scalp entries, so they're not supposed to be running for like more than 5 or 10 minutes. These entries have been running for, let's see, the breakout V2 has currently been running for about 16 minutes now. This strategy is supposed to hit right away. And this is why it's important that you guys look at the ATR, because if the ATR is too low, it's not a good area for you to be stuck in a position, because you'll be stuck in this for a long period of time. So, all right, as we continue to watch this, we'll just continue watching where it's currently at. It's just now ranging within the resistance here. What I might do is if price stays in this area, I might just, I'll just draw some more zones within this area. Or this is what I'll do. I'll just take off the 4-hour resistance. You guys already know this is a 4-hour resistance, right? There's no confusion here. You guys know that this is a resistance area. So just keep that in mind. And I'll draw updated levels here so that you guys can see the range. Or you know what I'll do? I'll draw a line right here. Now I got to figure out how to target this thing. I'm going to go on the 4-hour. All right. Back to the 1. So I'm just going to put this right here. And we're just going to put 4-hour resistance, lower level. So you guys can see where it's at. So, if price pulls back below this area, you'll know that, okay, price is pulling below the resistance. But I'll draw the 1-minute zone so that you guys can see where the range is actually happening. All right, so here's the current range. If this here closes with a lower low, this will be the new bottom range basically. And once this candle closes, I'll just draw another zone right there. Gonna close in about a couple of seconds. Let's see where we're at. Hey, what's up, Barack? Nice. Barack said he got in 10 pips, 10 pips, and you got out quickly. So nice work right there, Barack. Probably smart move by doing something like that because it's not the market to get stuck in. Okay, so here's a range on the clean chart. We have the 4-hour resistance level that's marked up right here. You can see how price kind of faked out, came back down to this level, bounced directly off the lower level of resistance, and it bounced right back up. So price is really just ranging between these two zones right here. So now that it's a lot cleaner, you guys can see exactly where the range is happening. You know exactly what to watch out for. So again, the trades are still running. I'm hoping nobody's in any of these positions here because they're just not good positions to hold on to. If you guys have an opportunity to pull out, I do recommend you guys pull out of it. I'm not in this high-low scalp V2. I'll just mark it up over here. It's still technically running. It's been running for a long time now. I'm not in any of these positions, though. I'm currently out of everything. And I'm just waiting for the market here to kind of stabilize a bit before we can hop into something. So I'm kind of discouraged that the market is still ranging because we were hoping it was going to break out. It's every week we're like, okay, next week I hope it stops ranging, right? We hope it breaks out and it starts moving in a direction. But literally every week it's been ranging. It's crazy. I haven't seen a market like this in not during this time period, in a long time. I don't know if anybody else is familiar with it, but if you guys have been trading with me for a while, every year, November, it's a directional movement until maybe Thanksgiving, right? This whole month and probably the end of October, price pretty much has been stuck in this range every single day, which is crazy. And the thing with this range is that the ATR is so low. It's not it's not even moving. Like it would be okay if price was ranging and then it would break out of the range and then go into a new range and the ATR would be like at 20 or a bit higher. It's been at like below 15 for, I mean, pretty much every day, which is it's very low for a fall season. Yeah, exactly. Patricia said, never seen it this bad. Yeah, Patricia's been trading with me for a long time now, maybe like 7 years now. We've been trading together for every day for the most part, and we've been analyzing the market, and she hasn't even seen this either. So it's just a weird market. It's okay, but it's okay if this becomes the case, and this is the new market that we're dealing with. Then I'll figure out a way to make money in the market. I always figure out ways to make money in the market. It doesn't matter what the market does. Our strategies work fine. It's just I'm not willing to change our trading, like our strategies right now, because I'm just waiting for the market to actually start moving. But if this becomes the new norm and this is the case where it just ranges for like the next while or so, then I'll make some adjustments, because there's other strategies that we can apply. Like, the snipe strategy still works perfectly fine. It just needs to be refined. And something like the SR zone scalp, that's like something that we can use as well, but we can use the higher highs and lower lows as better entry points. So there's always ways to make little changes to what we're doing to make money in the market. But right now we just want to be careful. Maybe it's just today. There's no news today, so maybe it's just today, but let's check the calendar for this week. So we have the Fed speaking tomorrow morning. Really weird time. He's speaking at 2:30 a.m., which is really unusual. We got CPI. So it's CPI week. I think this is why price is kind of ranging a lot today, because we have a lot of inflation news coming out. It's CPI week. Tomorrow we have CPI. We have inflation rate, core inflation rate, basically all CPI, a bunch of inflation news tomorrow. And then on Wednesday, we have retail sales, PPI, core PPI, more inflation news. And then we have jobless claims on Thursday, Philly Fed manufacturing index. And then Friday, we have housing permits. Yeah, so I think it's just market's going to go sideways today, but I think tomorrow it's going to start to pick up, because the CPI news is very high impact. If you guys follow the news that happened last week with Powell said that we weren't doing enough to control inflation. So I think there's going to be some big changes, with regard to what happens. But as you can see right here, there's nothing going on. Prices going back and forth between these two ranges, and there's nothing for us to take here. The breakout V2 is still running. This entry should have hit, 20 minutes ago, basically. So this entry came up at 6:40. It's 7 o'clock right now, so it's been running for over 20 minutes now. It's yeah, that's not what a scalp is supposed to look like, right? Scalp is supposed to hit right away. So I wouldn't recommend anybody enter any trades here until price breaks out of this range. So you want to see price break out of the range and climb higher. Once it breaks out of this area, okay, maybe start looking for some buys, right? And then again, right here, if price breaks below, then okay, maybe start looking for some sells. But you definitely don't want to trade within this range right here. It's not a good range to trade in, because you can see price is just going to keep bouncing back and forth within this area. Yeah, it's not exactly you're going to be pretty stressed out here in a position right here, because it's just going to keep going back and forth. It's probably not going to have enough to hit your TP. The spread right now is currently 170 on FTMO. So just be careful, guys. I mean, for the most part, I think it's best to just sit out and just wait for something here to even out. Let's see. Let me scroll down real quick. So let's see. Kip said, I think one issue is that overall retail sentiment is short, but the daily change is 15% new long orders. That makes the institutions want to swing around and lower in retail. I agree with you too, Kip, 100%. That's why the retail sentiment is super important, because you can kind of see when people are entering and exiting the market. So it seems like right now they don't really have a direction until people start to take some bets regarding the CPI news tomorrow. A lot of people are going to get into the market as you get closer to the CPI news tomorrow, guys, because a lot of people like to gamble when high impact news comes out here. So I think that's something to look out for. Kip said may see a little liquidity sweep on the downside and an overall push up to stop most retail traders as possible. Yeah, I can see that too, Kip. I can see price coming down slightly. faking it out, around this area, and then come right back up to stop everybody out again. Because people are going to chase that move, right? So you want to be careful, because when price comes down here, people are going to chase the sells. And then as soon as they get enough sellers in the market, they're just going to let the price kind of range down here, and then it'll shoot right back up to stop everybody out again. So it's kind of tough. It's a tough area right here, because you can see again another fake out. Look where this 4-hour resistance level is. As I mentioned before, guys, I said price might come down, fake out, and swing right back up, right? And that's exactly what happened here. That's why these levels are important, because you can see how this candle closed below it, and then it did an immediate 180 straight to the upside. There was a breakout V2 back in profit. Again, if you guys are in this position, I would recommend you guys just pull out in profit at where it's currently at, because it might just come back down. You guys have like the best opportunity here to pull out for as much profit as possible. There's a triple confluence there, Maddie just mentioned, currently running. Also, if you guys are in this high-low scalp V2, I do recommend pulling on profit. Hopefully you guys can get caught in this liquidity over here, because it's just such a mess. I want to clean it up a little bit. It's too messy right now. But yeah, you guys have the opportunity to pull out here for the high-low scalp V2 and for the breakout V2 if you guys are in any of these positions. It's just it's still within this range here. So again, right here, another fake out. See how price comes down? So it comes down right here, fakes out, comes back up, fakes out again right here. And where are we? Back in the range. So you don't want to be stuck in this position here, guys, and you definitely don't want to take any trades until it's like consistently below or consistently above. Because the last thing you want to do is get into a position. So for example, right here, imagine the person who was trying to get into this position here for a sell. As soon as they enter the sell, price just comes crashing all the way back up. Right, and then right here, whoever chased the buy, price comes crashing all the way back down. A lot of traps today. This is why I kind of like Mondays as like one of the more chill days, because you don't want to get caught in a lot of these traps, and you can kind of anticipate what's going to happen over the week. So I think right here we have a crazy range. I think we're still going to have ranges throughout the week, but I think price will break out of it. So we'll have like a range, price break below, another range, price break back above, another range. And yeah, I mean, that's kind of what I'm anticipating for this week. So we're going to get volatility and we're going to get manipulation, but I think it's going to keep going back into new ranges. Patricia said, it's bad when a triple confluence doesn't work right away. Yeah, exactly. So there's a triple confluence that was running off here and it didn't work right away. Typically, it continues to push at least 100 pips to get to its TP. But you can see right here that it actually got up 6 and then it came down super hard. It's still active right now. So it might correct back up to hit, but like what Patricia said, that's when the market's not really moving very smoothly, because the triple confluence comes up maybe once a week or once every couple of weeks, and it usually just goes straight up. And you can see right here, it's pushing right back up. So the triple confluence is running from right here. So I wouldn't be surprised if price does swing back up and then hit its TP. And there you go, the triple confluence now currently running, still in profit. And it's running alongside the breakout V2 right there, alongside the high-low scalp V2 as well, Maddie. So these entries have been running for a long time. So there goes the triple confluence, it's correcting right back up, blasted right through. So you guys can see when this triple confluence comes up, it almost always hits. And you can see right there, it did exactly that, right? Kind of faked out a little bit, blasted right through. So triple confluence, full TP, breakout V2, full TP. If you guys held on to it, I mean, props to you guys, because I could never. You already know I gave a warning to pull out right here. So if you guys held on to it, played out, it just took forever for it to actually work. Looking over here, the high-low scalp V2 is currently running in profit as well. So I'm gonna go and take a screenshot of this and add this to the spreadsheet. So this is gonna be the breakout V2. This entry came up super early at like 7:20 or 6:40 actually. Entry came up 6:40. It was for a buy. It was a win, 250. So heavy range throughout entire entry. Took nearly 30 minutes to hit TP back and forth. So I put some notes there for that. So I'll just take a screenshot of this as well for the V1 that I took earlier so that you guys know what trade I took earlier. So this was the V1 variation that I took. So when I post my profits, you guys understand that that's what was taken. All right, so 11, 13, 23. The tree came up around like 6:30 or 6:40, I guess. It's for a buy and you're in V1 variation. All right, so I'll just take a screenshot of my profits so that you guys can follow along and see where I'm currently at right now. As I mentioned earlier, I just took that trade there. It wasn't like a trade that I was planning on really taking, but I just ended up getting into it. Other than that, I think that's it for right now. Let me check the 5-minute real quick. There's no trend here for the 5 minutes, so there's no entry for that just yet. But here's our clean chart. You guys can see another fake out. It's just faking out both directions. You guys can see the fake out right here below. Again, another fake out right here. Pulls back into this area. And again, it's just a bit of a mess. It's just a bit of a mess. So let me take a screenshot of my profits for the day. I don't really have much. It's just that partial of the V1 variation that I took. All right, so price again is just back into that range. So at the moment, we are just waiting again for something here to, that big spike down right there. So you guys can see the market is really screwed right now. So they're looking to wipe people out in both directions. You can see right here, price kind of swung up super heavy. So it obviously wiped out a bunch of the sellers, and then price came down super heavy right here to wipe out all the buyers. And then I wouldn't be surprised right here again if it fakes out and then it swings right back up. It's basically sweeping everybody out. It's sweeping people on the buy side. It's sweeping people on the sell side. Yeah, it just pretty much spiked about 500 pips. So like someone who's trading with a very small TP or some very small stop loss, they're getting wiped out in both directions. And then you can see again right here, the fake out. I wouldn't be surprised if it comes right back into this area and does the same thing. Just a nasty spike right there. I'm sure people are going to chase a sell right here, right? They see the big red candle, they're like, okay, I'm going to chase this for a sell. What happens when that happens? The price goes right back up and stops them out. Because look, if you see anybody chasing the sell right here, where do you think their stop loss is going to be? Right? Everybody places their stop loss in the same place. They have price down here, their stop loss is going to be right there. What do you think is going to happen, right? Stop loss is right there. It's going to come up and then stop them out. And then probably come right back down. So yeah, don't get caught in these traps, guys. You know, we've seen these traps play out. It's not a good area to trade in, like I mentioned before. This whole area here is a mess. It's a tricky area because there's no direction. And you can see how they fake out between both of these areas right here. Let's see, Maria said, yeah, she said, I've been signaling Asia's opening price for the last 2 weeks. I've been seeing price come back there. Yeah, no, that's good. Yeah, so if you want to do that, Maria, or you want to use that, you can always use the sessions indicator. That's why I have the sessions indicator up. The Asia open is right here, or the Asia high is right here. Let's see, Maria, just take a screenshot. Yeah, so it looks like where your line is, that's exactly where the Asia high is or Asia low. I'm not sure if this is a high or low, but it's one of them. So yeah, yours is your line is exactly lined up with the sessions right there. Gotcha. Yeah, well, the Asia Open could be the high or the low because that's, price will usually push away from that area, but it's the same thing. Like your screenshot right there is exactly the same where the sessions is, where that purple line is right there. So if I take all this stuff off, it's exactly where you drew your line at, right there. So the session, like that's the whole reason I created the sessions here. You guys can see the sessions is very helpful because it kind of acts like a magnet as well. You can see where price kind of pulls down from. So price will push away from it during, like, say, London, whatnot. But then it comes back to this area, typically around the following day. Yeah. Jackson said only God is faster than this market. You don't run from bears, you avoid them. Yeah, and that's exactly what I'm doing too, Jackson. That's why I'm not really taking anything here because I agree with you 100%. The market here is not really, you can't outrun the market right here because it's gonna turn on you when you least expect it. If you're chasing the sell here, it's gonna swing right back up. If you chase the buy here, it's gonna swing right back down. So I think it's best right now to just sit out the market and wait for it to stabilize. Market hasn't stabilized at all. You guys can see here, it's just going back and forth. So it did exactly what I mentioned earlier. I said people who are chasing the sell, they just would have gone stopped out because they would have entered a sell right here, stop loss right there. Price went straight to their stop loss. And same with like whoever's chasing the buy right here, right? Whoever's chasing the buy, price went down straight to their stop loss. So yeah, this is a good area to just sit tight and wait because there's no direction. Yeah, Rigo over here said market's too slow. Yeah, there's not much going on. I mean, the ATR is still pretty high. So the market is not necessarily slow, but it is going back and forth. So it's flat. It's flat, but it's moving. So let me just take a screenshot of my profits real quick, and then we'll just continue on with our analysis here. I'm hoping the market does something in the next couple minutes or so. Otherwise, it's just going to be pretty much sideways market until close. So guys, for this week, we're going to be having our mentoring session tomorrow. I was going to have it today, but I had a bunch of people ask me if I can move it till tomorrow because they wanted to be able to attend. So for our mentoring session this month, it's going to happen tomorrow, November 14th at 2 p.m. regular time. If you guys can't make that, just let me know and we can change the date again. It's just I try to accommodate for the people who actually want to attend. And for the most part, I got requests to push it back till tomorrow. So yeah, if there's anybody that wants to move it to a different day or a different time, just let me know and we'll make some adjustments. So tomorrow at 2 p.m. Pacific, Alan. So basically our normal schedule time is just on a Tuesday instead of a Monday. So we'll have it tomorrow at 2 p.m. Pacific. Let me post up my profits real quick. Yeah, no problem. All right, so for that V1 variation I took earlier, guys, these are the profits that I made from it. So wrong channel. Actually, I was right. Okay, so this is a trade I took earlier. I took a partial of the V1 variation. These are my profits so far. So this is my funded engineer. I locked in 580. My FTMO locked in 590. My third FTMO locked in 1,080. Third FTMO locked in 1,180. This is my second funded engineer locked in 260. My first personal account locked in 110. My second personal account locked in 210. My TFF locked in 465, and my second TFF locked in 365. So those are my profits so far for the day. Nothing crazy. It's just I took a partial move off the V1 variation. And that's all I got so far. Looking over here at our team profits, we have Andreas. He took the trade earlier as well for a sell. Total profit of 970 for a full TP. Nice work right there, Andreas. So great profits right there for Andreas. We got Craig over here. Craig took some buys along the way. Total profit of 437 for the day. Nice work right there, Craig. Looks like you got into a couple entries there, pulled out for some nice profit. especially during this type of market. It's good that you pulled out because you would have gotten caught in a lot of fake outs. We have Barack over here, total profit of, let's see, 1,111 for the day. Took 2 trades here, one for a sell, one for a buy, all wins. Nice work right there, Barack. So Barack's good right there. And also big congrats here to Raymark. So Raymark here just got funded. We have another member here in the Kodi Kai group who just got funded off Apex. Big thanks to Maddie. Maddie mentored Raymark here to get funded. So I think Maddie's gotten about like 3 or 4 people funded here in the group. If you guys want to get mentored by Maddie, go ahead and reach out to him. I'm pretty sure he's busy because he is helping a lot of people. But here goes another person, another funded member here, thanks to Maddie's mentoring. So if you guys want to talk to Maddie, feel free to reach out. I know Maddie's been doing it for free. I don't know if he's going to continue doing it for free because it is taking up a lot of his time. But yeah, Maddie's good, So other than that, we will see what happens next. Let's see. Ben Hartwick said this market is like one of my ex-girlfriends. One moment she's in my arms, next moment she's in another man's arms. Yeah, exactly. That's literally how the market's moving right now. Van Hartwig market's going back and forth. So it's going from right here from Van Hartwig down to Van Hartwig's neighbor right here. And then right back to Van Hartwig. Yeah, guys, this market is very bipolar right now. As you guys can see, it's just going back and forth. It's still stuck within this range. So you guys already know there's a general area here where price is kind of just sitting. So it's not really a big confusion where price is going because you can see it just pulls back into this middle area here. So as long as you know where the range is at, which is this middle area, I think you should be fine. Because if price stays within this area, you already know not to trade. When price pulls out of it, look out for that fake out because it comes right back down. And again, right here, look out for the fake out because it's probably going to come right back up. In the future, if I have to make some adjustments to the strategies, we can probably make some adjustments here because it's pretty easy to spot these patterns, right? Whenever price pulls out for the fake out and you see a big candle, it's probably going to shoot right back in the other direction, right? So that's like something that we can probably work with here using my indicators to identify the ranges or like the strong points so that you guys know exactly where to get in and out from. Because we can do something here. I mean, there are some speculative moves that we can take here, especially when we're able to identify the range right here. So whenever price gets to a lower point, like say this area right here, we can have a pending order just waiting for a buy there. Then we could pretty much ride it back into the range, right? So price will come down, bounce off, maybe fake out down here a little bit, come right back up. Same with this here, same with the opposite direction. Price comes up and it does the same thing there again. We can work with this, but I don't recommend people do it unless it's been tested, right? So obviously this is just an idea, it's speculation. That's kind of what happens here. Price will push up, get to that area, kind of consolidate here a bit, fake out, come right back down. So there's always ways to make money in the market, guys. Trust me. There's thousands of ways to make money in the market. It's really just understanding how to read the market so that you guys know where to get in and out. Right now, I think these ranges might stop ranging over the next couple of days because we have some high impact news. So I don't think there's any reason to change anything up. We're just kind of waiting for the market to get out of this area. And then from there, we can start taking our entries. But right now, price has been ranging for the past hour, basically. And there's not much for us to work with here. Yeah, Oscar said he's catching all the V1s coming back up today. Yeah, I mean, that's one thing that you guys can look for as well when the V1s come back into the range, right? So for example, right here, there's a V1 variation and it came back into the range. I'm pretty sure this is one that Oscar took right there. Right. That's something that you guys can look at too. So if you guys are looking for that, I mean, it's pretty simple to look for the V1 variation. That's actually one of the good strategies to apply during this type of market because you can pretty much catch all the V1s. Like for example, here, there's a V1 that came up right here. Price came up, double body, enter the sell right there. Price came up right here, double body, buy right there, double body, sell. V1 right there, another sell. But I probably wouldn't take it right here. It's so close to the bottom. But again, right here, another V1. So you can basically catch V1s on the outer areas. When the V1s come up here, it pretty much pulled right back into the range. So smart thinking right there. Oscar, catching those moves as price continues to bounce within these ranges here. Let's see, Alan said, is there in the chat, is there a way that will move down the, sorry, just one second. So Alan's asking if there's a way to automatically have the messages move down when there's a new message. Mine automatically does that. I'm not sure if anybody else does that, but mine usually goes down to the bottom already, Alan. I'm not sure if it's just different based off computer, but mine technically goes all the way down already. So not sure exactly if there's a setting that I enabled, but I think it does it for myself. Nice. Oscar caught 3 V1s today. Solid. Yeah, Daniel said buy every low, sell every high. 12 TPs today. Yeah, that's like one thing that you guys can look at too. Like if you get a lower low, I mean, basically whenever there's a lower low, it's probably gonna be the bottom because price has been ranging. So like price will hit a lower low, climb up, lower low, climb up, lower low, climb up, higher high. Or if you want every lower, like high low, then even that too. But I think lower low would probably be even better. So let's see if price actually continues to drop here or if this fakes out and pulls right back up to the the range over here. So price came down, it's testing the opening price. And from here, price might swing right back up to this area here. But we'll see. I mean, there's no telling what's going to happen next. The ATR right now is currently 15, so the volatility is decent. It's not great, but it's decent. Yeah, exactly. Vimal said doesn't work as there are new lows that it creates. Yeah, and I agree with you too, Vimal. So like you can't really take every high low. That's why I'm saying like I think the lower lows are probably better. But if you go for a V1 that's off a lower low or a higher high, it typically works out pretty nice. Like for example, here there's a higher high. It's a double body for a V1 variation, and you can take that for a sell. And then same with like this right here, or this right here. Maybe if it does give a V1 variation. But yeah, it's hard to trade directly off the highs and the lows because they repaint unless they've been established. So they have to be the lower low or the low has to pretty much be stuck there for like the next 4 or 5 candles. Once it does that, then it'll establish, and that's when you know it's an actual low. Let's see. Jackson said, how do you feel about a buy right now? It's kind of hard to tell, Jackson. Let's take a look real quick. So the longer time frames over here are still bullish. So you can see that it looks like price might go up or it can correct back up. Looking over here at retail sentiment. Yeah, I think price will probably correct back up. I don't know if it'll correct back up from this level though. But yeah, if you really wanted to take like a buy, and you wanted to write it back into the range, I think this would probably be the area to, here, I'm gonna add this to the spreadsheet too. This is the high-low scalp V2, it didn't play out. We didn't take this entry, but I'm gonna add it to the spreadsheet. This entry ran for like almost an hour. Entry came up at 643. So it's a good thing we didn't really mess with that there, but I'm gonna add it to our spreadsheet because it's good to know. I'd rather know when these trades are like kind of screwed up because we'll know in the future not to take these specific trades. So trade ran for nearly an hour, heavy range back and forth. In profit and drawdown. Okay. So I like putting notes here because these notes are going to help us in the future. Like, okay, when price is ranging, I think that's the main key thing here. The main thing is just like if price is ranging, don't even bother taking the entry because it's either going to go sideways for a very, very long time or it's just going to like hit your stop loss. So adding that to the spreadsheet right there. Back to the charts. Yeah, so right here, Jackson is doing exactly what we were just talking about, right? So I said this might be a good area because everything's kind of bullish. Price is going to bounce off opening price and probably pull right back into the range. So if you wanted to take the buy there and just take the bounce and write it back to the range, that'd be cool. But I don't think I'd hold it for a long period of time because I think once it gets back into this range right here, so once price pulls back into this area, it's probably going to fake out again, come right back down. This isn't really a good market to like buy and hold for a long period of time, but if you want to buy like at critical price levels like opening price and then expect it to pull back into the range, that's typically what you can look for. So this did the fake out like we were just talking about earlier. So this goes back to what Daniel was talking about at like buying at lows. Yeah, you can see here the lower low got established. And then this is basically a V3 variation. It's not a strong variation, but it's a V3 variation. Yeah. So this was a V3 variation right here. Price came down. It was a double wick. Actually, this is a V1. It's a double wick rejection. So this is what Maria was talking about too. So this is a V1 variation. You see price come down. There's a double wick rejection right there. It's off a lower low. If you guys see a V1, if you guys see any variations and they're off a lower low or a higher high, typically they're going to play out. Because the lower lows and higher highs are usually established as they're established as the top and bottoms. So price came down right here. We had a lower low. It was a double wick rejection, pending buy signal. And this right here could have been ridden all the way back up to the range. And Jackson over here locked in 200. So nice work right there, Jackson, on catching that. You pretty much identified it how it should have been identified. When you asked me about how I was thinking about a buy, I wasn't looking for a V1 here. I was just looking for the lower low. But now that we have that kind of lined up, lower low plus the double wick rejection, this is a good confluence indicating that price is going to swing back in the other direction. And the good thing with this right here, so here's the good thing about the range, guys. We don't like when price is in the range, but we like when price is outside the range because this is where you can identify where price is going to go back to, right? So like, for example, we had a V1 variation right here, and we already had a target price point because we knew where the range was, right? The range was up here. So once you see that V1 variation right there, you're like, all right, I can take this for a buy and pretty much write it up for X amount of pips, right? Back into the range up here. I probably would only go for like maybe 20 or 15 pips because I think going up any higher is a little risky. But, doing this right here for about 150 pips, pretty solid. Hey, Craig. Yeah, no, that used to happen to me too before when I was still working. It was funny. When I was still working at my law firm, guys, my office was like a really big office and I had windows all around my office. So like when people would walk into my office, they would see the reflection of the charts on the screen. So like Craig over here said he had to leave because his boss walked in. Every time my boss walked in, I would have to like literally turn off my monitor because it would reflect in the back of my office. And they knew what I was doing. And then when I finally left, they were like, okay, we knew he's gonna leave eventually. Because yeah, it's crazy. If you guys were trading with me around that time, like during COVID, it was pretty crazy because during COVID, everything kind of closed and I was literally recording everybody getting fired from work. And I was like all happy that we were getting let go because I just wanted to trade full time. So yeah, let's see what else we got over here. Riga said, are you more bullish or bearish on the higher time frames? More bullish, Riga, because the bias is bullish. So we got retail sentiment, which is 64% short. This indicates that 64% of retail traders are currently selling right now. So you typically want to do the opposite and buy. Then also the higher time frames they're pretty bullish, like the 30-minute, 1 hour, and 4 hour. It's not really much of a direction, but it's still bullish. So I think price will always correct back up. It might drop down a little bit, then it'll correct back up. And if it does that again, it'll just keep going back up from where it's currently at. So I'm more so bullish. And then TFF back then, they were like, I didn't necessarily think they were scamming, or no, I guess they kind of were because you guys saw my profits before. Like on my accounts, they would all be in profit and TFF would be negative. But lately they've been fine. So I think they've kind of fixed it for a little bit. Kip's kind of who brought me back into TFF because he's been on their top leaderboard for the past, past couple of months now. So Kip has actually been doing really well with TFF. So that's kind of why I started using them. MFF is for sure a scam though. So MFF is different. I don't know if you got mixed up MFF and TFF. They're totally different. But yeah, TFF wasn't great back then, but they're okay now. They're not great. They're not amazing, but they're okay. They pay out and they're fine. So I'll continue using them for the time being. Oh yeah, so yeah, Roosevelt said, I knew it was Roosevelt because I saw your name, Jackson. So I was like, I swear this is Roosevelt. But yeah, so Roosevelt said he joined K2 when he was doing COVID at his warehouse job. Yeah, it's funny. A lot of people joined us during COVID. I think COVID's where the group really kind of grew a lot because everyone was kind of not at work and everyone was able to trade with us all day. So yeah, no, it's always good to see a lot of old faces back in the group, especially like when people had to go back to work and they weren't able to get on these charts in the morning. But I think this is the best time to trade for me personally. Let's see, Rashida said the pullback hit for a buy. Check real quick. Yeah, no, I can see that price pulled back and this one all the way back. It's back into the range, right? To the upper. All right, so here is here's price. So again, be careful if you guys are looking to take some. Yeah, Roosevelt said time for some sells, possibly. Yeah, so it's doing exactly what we were just talking about earlier, guys. Another fake out right here, and price might pull back into the range. I think it might be a little too early to hop in, but I mean, if you want to take that riskier side move, you probably could. It's just bouncing between these ranges. So I think for me personally, I'd probably look for it to pull out of here, like how it did right here, before hopping in. But again, if you wanted to just hop in right there, you probably could. If your stop loss is wide enough, you could probably handle the drawdown if it does draw down at all. But I would like to see the fake out outside. I think because you get a better entry if you wait for it to fake out outside of the range there. But again, you know, if your stop loss is wide enough, you could probably survive the move. I probably would be careful with taking sells though, because like what Rigo was just talking about, with my overall bias, I think price is supposed to be going up higher. So if you're taking a sell from this area, it's going to be a little risky. There's a momentum pullback scalp that just hit. So Maddie just identified that. I wasn't looking at it, but it did hit right there. ATR is too low though. So ATR is currently at 13 right now, Maddie. So I wouldn't have taken it, but it was a setup. So like price pushed up right here. We had a red candle pulled down to this level. Entry would happen right here for a buy. And then you ride that up for a good 100 pips. But it wouldn't meet criteria because the ATR is too low. It's currently 13. Yeah, Maddie said sitting back and observing for today. Andreas said I'm done for the day. Don't like these movements. Yeah, same here, Andreas. I'm probably not going to take anything else, guys, because the volatility here is not the best. The volatility is not the best, and there's not really much direction. So you can see right here, price is now pulling back into the range. So there you go, Jackson. Yeah, Roosevelt. So like price kind of pulled up above this area, and I think this is probably a better area to get into. But you'd also want to look for like maybe like V1 pattern. There's no V1 pattern here yet, but if there was, I would probably get into it. Yeah, it doesn't look like much is going to happen here. Yeah, it's all good. Did you get out in profit already, Jackson? Let me see. Yeah, because if you would have pulled up, if you would have gotten it from here, I would probably just get in and out super quickly for like, you know, just 100 pip moves, because that's probably going to be like there you go. So if you went for 100 pips right there, it'll went straight into your profit. Because these are small, like these are just quick moves. So like I would probably, if you were going to take an entry like that, I would probably only go for like quick ins and outs, because it happens so often, right? Price will come here, quick in and out, then it goes back down to the bottom over here. You do the same thing, quick in and out, like 100 pips. Because if you do anything more than that, depending on the spread, if the spread's too wide, you might be stuck in the position. And I think that's like the worst feeling. Like it sucks when the position hits, but then you look at your MT4 and you're still in it because the spread's so wide. Because like realistically, like right here, your CP might hit, but because of the spread, you technically would have to get out like down here. That's how brokers get you guys, because sometimes your spread's too wide and you hit your TP on trading view, but you're like, why didn't it pull me out? Because your spread's like way down there. Let me see if there's anything else here. Riga's asking why are the profits different? Is it because of the account size? Which profits, Riga? Because I have like nine. Or which account are you talking about? Are you talking about the two ETFFs? Because there's like, yeah, I have like a bunch of accounts here much. I mean, they're all different because they're all different accounts. That's why. But if you're talking about TFF, these are two different because of slippage. I'm assuming it's only off by like $100. The account size isn't gonna make a big difference. These here are different though. So you can see this one here is a 100K FTMO and this is a 200K. That's why it's 1,000. This is 500. This is double of what this one made. So if it's like a big difference, yeah, it's because it's probably double the account size. But if it's like a slight $100 difference, that's because it's just slippage. Because you can see over here, like these are my two personal accounts. They took the same lot size and they still had different. This is on Hero FX and this is on IC Markets. So slightly different. There's just slippage if it's off by like a little bit, but if it's off by a lot, then it's because of it's a different account size. I don't do anything bigger than 100K on TFF because there's a lot size cap. So there's no point in doing anything more than 100. If you do a 200 account size, you're still capped at 100 lots, which makes it kind of pointless. Yeah, Barack said he ignores any other prop firms. Yeah, for me, I would recommend only sticking to FTMO. I mean, once you're like fully funded with FTMO, then yeah, you can start looking into other prop firms. But for the most part, FTMO is the most reliable. So I probably wouldn't bother with anything else unless like it was super necessary. All right, let me see what else we got over here. Oh, gotcha. Yeah. So Roosevelt said he was at break even when he got out at 100 pips. Yeah, probably because of the spread too. And your entry point was a little bit lower. Rashida said she's been looking at the strat we use to deal with the 10, 5, and 1. But last week it was hitting nice. Yeah, no, that's the I think it's just called a momentum scalp, right? I forget what, yeah, it's basically the momentum scalp, but it's on multiple time frames. Yeah, pretty much. It's just the regular momentum scalp, confirm overall trend, confirm momentum on the 5, 1, and the 10, 5, and 1, and then you just take the entry off there. Yeah, so that's good too. I mean, it works well. It's just tough during a market like this because there's no direction. But yeah, like what Rashida was saying, that strategy works really well in all markets, really. You just have to make sure everything kind of lines up. So you pretty much use the trend meter and then you use the momentum signals. But then you also use it with the gold bars. So like, for example, like right here, like we get a sell signal that plays out perfect. Yeah, I mean, just looking at it here, it looks pretty solid if they do come up. So no, I'm glad that you were using that, Rishi. I use it sometimes too. I like having the confluence of having multiple time frames, but yeah, I try to stick to what we're currently using. But yeah, no, that strategy works fine. It's that strategy is just like the pivot scalp. So it's similar to like if we're doing a momentum pullback scalp, but without having the pullback, right? You're kind of just entering right away. So it's very similar to the other strategies that we're applying here. It's just a slightly different entry point. But no, it's good to hear that one works. Maybe it's something I might play around with in the future if we have to like make some changes here. Nice. Shannon caught 90 pips for the sell. Solid work right there. Riga's asking how's funded engineer. Funded engineer is all right. I mean, their lot sizing is kind of weird. You have to like because I'm using purple as a broker, so the lot sizing is like way different. From what I've heard from Lisa, she said if I use they have another option of broker. They're going to be more similar to FTMO, and I probably would just have to change to that broker at some point. But they're all right. Again, they're like a low budget prop firm, so it's not exactly one I'd recommend. So whenever a prop firm gives a bunch of discounts, I'd be really wary about using them, right? Because there's a reason why they're giving a bunch of discounts. If you use Fund Engineer, they have a lot of discounts. If you look every month, they have like a 50% off, a 30% off, and then they have like a bunch of extra fees you can add on. So you can tell what they're doing. They're not a prop firm that's looking out for your best interest. They're kind of just trying to they're trying to like basically upsell you for different products. So they're trying to make money off of you buying their products, but not necessarily from your trading. So I don't know if Funded Engineer will last very long. I think they'll be around for a while, but I think they're one of the prop firms that are kind of just going to come and go. So I'm using them right now just to, get payouts from them. But if they end up kind of disappearing, it's not going to change anything for me because I'm trading personal accounts now too. So I already pretty much got a lot of my bases covered when it comes down to these prop firms. Because MFF was kind of a trip. When MFF went down, that was like, they were one of the biggest prop firms. That kind of threw me off. So that's why I only stick with FTMO. I don't really depend on prop firms anymore. I trade my personal account, and I just funnel a lot of the prop firm money to my personal accounts. All right, Ben Harvey, we'll see you back here tomorrow. Hopefully, this bipolar market is back to normal by then. I think it will be because we do have CPI news tomorrow. But again, we'll have to, figure out how that will play through. Yeah, exactly. Enrique said 100% with it. I agree with the discounts. Yeah, it's kind of weird to see a prop firm like that give discounts every month, because if they're making money off, like, if they want quality traders, they wouldn't give discounts like that. But they're fine. I think for now they're fine, but I don't really see them lasting too long. Every week there's like a new prop firm, and they're just going to continue to go through with that. And see, Ross is asking, how did you get an IC markets account? So there's a hedge fund that I'm working with right now, Ross. They're looking to become, well, they're a hedge fund, but they're like in Dubai. So they're a hedge fund in Dubai, but they're looking to get they're looking to basically get licensed here in the US. So they're like a hedge fund / broker. They're trying to become the bridge for IC markets here in the US. So I know one of the guys that's like working with them, and he gave me one of their accounts. So I'm using one of their accounts right now. Hopefully the bridge works. So if the bridge works and they get all of their licensing here in the US, then they'll be open to US clients. But it's not for everybody, at least not right now. So I'm just like one of the guys that's helping them, basically trading their accounts to see if it's reliable. If it does open up, I'll definitely let you guys know, because we'll have our bridge through me, and I can probably help you guys get, because IC is probably one of the best brokers in my opinion. Back then they were one of the greatest, they're the most solid brokers with everything, with like spread, execution and stuff, but they don't accept US clients because it's just, a lot of people don't like to deal with US clients because there's too much regulation here. So yeah, if they do open up to US clients, Ross, I'll definitely let you know, because they are pretty solid. You can see my profits here with them every day are pretty on point. Like their execution times are pretty quick. So let's see. Yeah, Riga said ICM is solid. ICM is good. I wish they would allow more clients, but they only allow like certain clients, like in the UK. They don't even allow clients in other countries anymore. They're yeah, Riga said best in his opinion. Yeah, I agree too. Same. Riga said TFT is also doing the same with discounts. I saw some like scam stuff come out with TFT too. I've never used TFT. I probably will never use TFT. I've heard a lot of bad things about them. They're okay, but I'd rather use other funding companies that I've heard better things about. But I don't necessarily I don't think I'll ever use TFT. I don't think they're good with scalpers anyway. So like we can't really use them because their execution times and spreads aren't that great. I think they use I forgot which broker they use, but it was a broker it's not good with scalping because their spreads are too wide and their execution times are too slow. Yeah, Maria said she uses IC markets and it's fine. The problem sometimes is that their spread is high. Yeah, I think it depends on which IC markets you're using too, because they have different servers for them as well. For the IC markets that I'm using, since I'm trading with the hedge fund, they have like the best spreads. So it's it's pretty solid for the most part. Ryu said, what about Apex? So I don't use Apex myself because I'm on a Mac. It's kind of hard to trade on Apex. Like there's no copier for it that's like native, like how I use my copier. So I don't use Apex myself, but Maddie's been using it. Kip's been using it. C6's been using it. A lot of people in our group have been using it and they've been pretty solid. So I think they're all right, but I haven't used it, so I can't give you my opinion on, how they are. But from what I heard, they're pretty decent. All right, let's see. So there's no other entries here, guys. If there's any other questions that you guys have, feel free to put them in the chat. I just don't have anything else for me to yeah, price finally broke the range. It looks like you just might create a new range within this area here now, Rashida. But it's getting close to 8 o'clock, so I don't really think I'm going to take anything here. ATR is still also very low. It's currently at 12. I would have looked for some momentum pullback scalps, but there's ATR here just too slow. It's not really going to put anything here for me to. There's not going to be an opportunity because the ATR has to be at least 15 before I can start taking the entries here. Yeah, Riga said Apex is on NinjaTrader. Yeah, I believe so. It's on NinjaTrader, and I think you could also use it for TradeObate. So NinjaTrader, you can use a copier, but you need to be on a PC, not a Mac. So I can't do it. It doesn't work for me. TradeObate, it works with a group trader, but you can't set an automatic TP stop loss. So that's why I don't like it, because sometimes you're not fast enough to get out of the position. So it just doesn't work for me. I've tried TradeObate. It's good if you're trading it as your individual account, but not with a copier. It's kind of hard because you have to be super quick with your in and outs. C6 said he might have a solution for that. Yeah, so Kip has a solution for a bridge program between NinjaTrader, or I think between Apex and MT4. The only problem is that, again, I need a PC. I need a PC computer, and then also on top of that, it's not a native program. So I don't like using programs that are not native if I'm copying, because, for example, here, if I have one account, so say, for example, you guys saw my profits here, right? This is my main account that I trade everything on, this account right here. This program is not native, but it's on the cloud. For the program that C6 is talking about and like Kip has, you have to go between there's different loops and holes that you have to go through. And then if there's a freeze that happens, all my accounts can get blown off one trade. So I don't really want to risk it. Yeah, no, for sure, CC. Yeah, for sure. If you found something, we can talk about it. But again, if it's not native, I probably wouldn't want to use it. I want something that's native, that's built into the platform. Because again, I'm not going to trade like a bunch of accounts. Okay, gotcha. If it's native, I mean, when I mean native, I mean it's an actual program. See, so it's not like a workaround that you're. Because I'm pretty sure yours is a workaround. It's not a native. It's not like, oh, I log into MT4. Okay, copy my Apex to my MT4. It's nothing like that, right? It's something where you have to use a different program, which is not native. And it's okay. Well, we'll talk about it later, Sisu, because because I haven't seen any program like that where you can literally trade on Apex and then it copies over to FTMO. Because the closest thing that I know is what I'm already using, which is Social Trader Tools, but it's only for MT4 accounts. That's why I'm still on MT4. Because if I could go on futures, I would just trade directly on futures. Yeah, exactly, CC. There's no bridge for it, right? That's the whole thing we're talking about right here, CC. You can't bridge Apex to MT4. If I go to Apex, then what am I gonna do with these 9 accounts here? I basically gotta then I'm just giving away money at that point, So yeah. Yeah, exactly. So there's no bridge program. CC just kind of got it confused. He was thinking about just Apex. I know there's a native program for Apex. We just talked about that. It's NinjaTrader. But between MT4, there's no program that will go through. There's another V1 right here. Nice for Shia on catching that. V1 variation right there, guys. There's a high-low right here. Double body, pending buy signal came through. And it hit right there straight to TP. I wouldn't have taken it though, guys. I mean, if you guys want to take it, feel free. It goes straight to TP, but the ETR here is again very low. It's currently at 12, so I wouldn't necessarily take anything right now for me personally, because I just don't like the I don't like the volatility. So for example, right here, it went straight to TP, but depending on your entry point, if your spread's too wide, you probably would be still stuck in the position right now. So, all right, guys, if there's any other questions, feel free to put them in the chat. I think I'm going to wrap this up for the day. The ATR is just getting lower and lower. It's currently at 10 right now. This indicates that price is just moving about like 10 points within the next, every candle is like the average is moving about 10 points over the past 14 candles. So it's not really, I don't think you guys are going to find too much here because this might just consolidate for the next couple minutes or so. I think we have news at 8 o'clock as well. So we have consumer inflation expectations at 8 o'clock. Then there's like nothing else for the rest of the day. So I don't think there's going to be much volatility. Tomorrow, there's going to be a lot of volatility though. So at 5:30 a.m. pre-market, we're going to have CPI news. This is all inflation news. So we have inflation, CPI, inflation rate month over month, core inflation rate month over month, inflation rate year over year. Just a bunch of inflation news tomorrow morning. So you're probably going to see some crazy spikes happen pre-market. And then we're going to see either a correction or a continuation on market open once we get to 6:30 tomorrow. So, all right, guys, I think that's it for today. If you guys have any other questions, feel free to reach out. Again, just a reminder, we're not going to have the mentoring session today. We had some requests to have it tomorrow. If tomorrow doesn't work for you guys, let me know. And we can schedule for another day or another time. I just want to make sure that majority of you guys can attend the mentoring session because we're going to cover pretty much everything there that needs to be covered and to get you guys ready for the next month. So, all right, guys, other than that, if you guys have questions, reach out. Otherwise, I'm going to wrap this up and we'll be back here tomorrow for